You're probably asking yourself, do I get rich if I move out of my parents' house? This is playing in your mind for the last few months, maybe a year already, and you see all these people in Colombia in a beautiful penthouse, and you're like, hey, I want that sun on my face too. That's fucking amazing. That seems super, super nice and super healthy. Is it worth it? Yes, but you gotta have some sacrifice in that whole situation. It's not just gonna happen easily. In March, I moved out of my parents' home and I went to Bali for 2 months, and of course I cried. Of course I didn't want to leave them like that. Like, of course I wanted to leave them because I wanted to get mature, but I had to leave them for the first time ever in my life. Of course I was emotional. Of course I missed them. Of course it was tough. Of course I spent all my money. Of course it was super scary. But it's the only fucking way to do it, bro. Like that month, I think in January or February, I made 5K. Like it was just some lucky circumstances that just came together. My salary wasn't 5K. I just graduated and I got some money back. Like everything came together in the right way. I got some more money from some clients because I just did well. And I was like, fuck, this is the first time I ever have some money. Let's fucking move out immediately. I didn't save up 10K. I didn't even save up 5K. I think because the plane ticket was like $800. I think I left to that place with like 3K or 4K in my bank account with the knowledge that I was making 3K a month via the guy that I work for, still working for. And now we're in Colombia. I flew out here in May, went to Bali between March and May, and then I went home for 5 days, and then I flew from Amsterdam to Medellin, and now I'm here for 3 months. It is tough being away from your parents, but I had to move away from my parents to stop being poor and to change my mindset, to change my everything. The outputs are gonna get you rich, but the inputs are gonna make you rich. The inputs are gonna get you to deserve to be rich. At my parents' home, I just couldn't give those inputs. Like first, the weather in the Netherlands is just terrible, and that made my overall mood just worse and made me less likely to work because I was less happy, less motivated to work. So going out to a sunny country like Bali helped already, but also just having your own space, your own bathroom, your own complete room. Like I had my own room, but I didn't have my own double bed, for example. I was sleeping in a one-person bed. I couldn't even get any girls over because then my parents had to see them casually sleeping around. You don't want your parents to see those girls because they're never gonna see them anyway. Like I'm not gonna marry them. So it's just an awkward situation at all. I was always making my own food already because I was eating way more protein than they did. So I was already cooking for myself. I was the only one going to the gym. I was the only one doing like crazy stuff, cold showers, etc. So it's just demotivating to be around people that are not doing that. So in Bali, I had my own villa. At first I was with a buddy who left after a month. So the second month I was alone. It stimulated me to work more, and I was having calls with the people that I'm living with now, the entrepreneurs, and they stimulate me to do the right thing. They stimulate me to eat more meat. They stimulate me to wake up early or to stay up very late. Like depends on when you want to work, of course. Like if you're a night owl or a morning person. They stimulate me to approach girls when I feel anxious. They stimulate me to do work when I don't want to do work. They stimulate me to do all the good things. But my parents, when I told my parents like, hey, the cold shower, they didn't reinforce that. They didn't push me to do hard stuff. And of course, a cold shower is like nothing. It's something super small. But in general, it adds up. If you're going to the gym every day, if you're taking a cold shower every day, if you're trying to wake up early, if you're eating super healthy, all these things. I was trying the carnivore diet, just trying to optimize my health to see what was best for my body. And they were not participating in any of this. And then you can say, okay, you can take an apartment somewhere in the Netherlands, which is away from your parents. Yes, but that is super expensive. And if you're starting an entrepreneur, you can't afford it at all. And I didn't want to be in the Netherlands for the weather. So I just said, hey, let me just move to the other side of the world. I went to Bali, and I still talk to my sister every day. I still to this day, because we have a good connection with my sister, a good relationship with my family in general. With my parents, for example, I maybe call with them like once a month, maybe 2 times a month at best. I don't really speak them that much anymore because we have different life paths and they have different mentality. They are different. I still love them and I still am very grateful and I still talk to them. I don't despise them or anything, but they have different goals out of life. They have different inputs. They don't care about the things that I care about. So that's super demotivating to be around. Like they eat cookies and shit all the time. And you can say, oh, that's something super small that doesn't matter, but it adds up. They were never going to the gym. Like my sister was going to the gym in the weekends, but in general, I was the only one doing all that stuff. And then if no one is participating in it and you get one little dip, then you're immediately back to square zero and you have to get all the motivation back and you get the momentum again. It's just difficult. And now I'm with my buddies and I still spend all my money. Like almost every month I spend almost all my money, but it's worth it because my money is going to compound because of the entrepreneurship. So it's going to compound if you leverage the right things, then you're going to get richer, richer, richer. So you have like linear or exponential. I think it's exponential. I don't know. Linear is I think this way and then exponential is like this and then randomly it just goes up quickly. So that's what you got in entrepreneurship and that's why I'm fine spending all my money. So that's why I left my home, because it kept me poor. I don't know, you can do whatever you want. For me, it massively helped me, even though it was scary sometimes financially. I was in some booth ass Airbnb sometimes. I was eating some trash food sometimes because I couldn't afford better, but it was worth it in the long run for my mental health, for my input for work, and just for my maturity in general. So do whatever the fuck you want with this video. I'm not here to give advice, but just sharing my experience.